All right. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're familiar. My name is Jen. I'm with innerworkcoaching.life. And, I'm kind of going into this not really sure what I'm going to be talking about because the last time I tried to record a video about this whole loneliness subject, it just did not work out. There were so many interruptions. And then when I reviewed the video, it was like, oh, I went off on too many tangents and it was just not very well worded, I guess, very well presented. I made some good points, but it was kind of, you know. So today I'm going to probably give that another shot. But first, I wanted to do a little bit more like a vlog style, I guess, personal update because my video postings are so sporadic. And I know that to grow your YouTube channel, you're supposed to post like 3 times a week and all this stuff. And that's just not possible for me all the time. So the reason being is because I have like 8 different, hustles slash jobs slash whatever going on and just trying to make some money because it's literally been about 4 months since I've made any money to speak of. And it almost feels like I need to set myself up so that way I'm not sending out vibes of fear-based vibes, I guess would be the right word to use toward my classes and towards students and towards people enrolling because I'm not in such desperate need for finances. You see what I mean? So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is how I like to pay attention in order to sort of validate my decision making process and kind of feel out whether I'm on the right track or not, right? So I look for coincidences and synchronicities and weird timing, okay? So some of these coincidences and they happen all the time whenever I'm making, whenever I'm going in a direction that's right for me, right? So right now I'm trying to get some decent income going so that way I can actually pay my bills and get ahead and kind of, build what I want to build and basically finance my creativity is really the goal, to have to basically own myself. Simply because I don't think it's fair to rely on my audience to, you know, pay me, I guess, you know what I mean, unless they want to. And I feel yucky going out and asking for money. I feel yucky, like sitting there posting all the time only for stuff that's for sale because I'm like, oh my gosh, I need money, I need money, I need money. Right. So I recently read this book called The Richest Man in Babylon. And that was courtesy of my friend Eric, who let me borrow it and highly recommended it to kind of help me expand my understanding of money because I'm very, very ill educated as far as that's concerned. And I'm working on it. And it's been an ongoing process. And, I feel like I'm finally getting a handle on it. And so that did a lot of shifting for me as far as my perspective on finances are concerned, my perspective on money and how it works and what I need to do on a individual level in order to get ahead, right? So last week I had like a day of severe hustle of just setting things in motion and looking around and seeing what's out there and figuring out what is going to work for me because there are certain requirements that I have that I can't really compromise too much on. And one of my biggest priorities is making sure that my mental health is taken care of, my emotional well being, along with my my teenagers have mental health needs and health needs. And I won't go too deep into that because I don't know if they are comfortable with me sharing about stuff like that that's going on. But suffice it to say that there are appointments that need to be made. And so I need my days to be free. So I've been kind of a regular at this gas station, like stop by there and fuel up and whatever. It's right near my house. So I find it very convenient. And so I found out that they're hiring. And finally, this week, I went and dropped off my resume. And they have one job left. And when I dropped off my resume, because that was kind of a spur of the moment idea, I just kind of like tweaked my resume that I had and was like, okay, I'm just going to drop this off and see what happens. And because we had been, me and some of the girls that work there had already been talking about, whether they're hiring. And I told them about my job at the thrift store. And they always ask me, oh, how's your job going? And that one, I only get to work very few and far between to kind of cover shifts for people who need days off. So it's not an income where I can actually support myself. So the other fear that I had was that my wages are going to get garnished because of this student loan debt that I'm carrying around. And it has grown and grown and grown. And I've been trying to avoid it. And now I've decided that I have to deal with it because I got to take responsibility for my shit. So right now, I'm just like building stuff up. So I go in there to drop off my resume, right? And someone that used to live in the same place that I used to live was actually my neighbor, and she was working there, and she actually took my resume from me, and we kind of looked at each other, and she's like, wait a minute, do I know you? And I'm like, because I recognized her pretty much right away, I was like, yeah, I think I know you too. You used to live over here, right? We were neighbors. And so that was kind of fun. And that was a fun little coincidence where I was like, oh, cool. Okay. Maybe I'm on the right track here. So today, another thing that I did last week was I found this whole mystery shop or whatever thing. And I was like, okay, well, it's been a while since I've, tried out one of these so-called opportunities, work from home, whatever. Usually they end up being scams, but I was like, screw it, whatever, we'll see, you know. And it did end up being a scam. However, if it hadn't been for that thing arriving in the mail today, then I would not have felt the need to go and have that cashier's check checked out by a banker, which means I would not have been out and about, which means I would not have walked into this gas station while they were talking about me. And good things, they were trying to like tell someone about me or whatever, and then I go walking in and they're like, oh, we were just talking about you, da, 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 so this is another good sign, right? So these are like little seemingly, um, I mean, if you're not paying attention and you don't take the time to appreciate it, then it seems insignificant, you know? However, if you are paying attention and you are in the moment and you're like appreciative of these little nudges, you know what I mean? And you follow those little nudges, like had I gone even 5 minutes before or 5 minutes after, then the timing would not have been the same. It would not have had nearly as much of an impact on all of us. And then it opened the conversation to what hours I would be working. And although I was not looking for full time, I didn't put anything about restrictions or anything on my resume because I wanted to stay open. Whatever opportunities are meant to find me will find me. And so they were telling me, okay, well, you would be working at night. You would be working from 5 o'clock to midnight, and it's full time. And guess what that means? That means that I would have all day, every day during the week to continue to be able to schedule appointments, as well as do like 2 or 3 hours a day of Instacart, as well as do some of my creative stuff and videos and YouTube content and what have you. So really, it would be perfect. It would be like ideal, and that's what the universe wants for us, as individuals. And believe it or not, the universe pays attention to each individual on an energetic level. We are creating our own lives, and we just have to open up our perception enough to see the opportunities that are coming at us from all sides at any given time, and when we find ourselves kind of emotionally not so aligned, I guess would be the right word. When we're out of alignment, when we're frustrated, when we're irritated, when we're angry, we push all those opportunities away. and we resist them. And I have learned more and more now not to question so much, you know, not to overthink, and not to overwhelm myself by thinking about all the things I have to get done, right? Because you're literally just one thing at a time. I can schedule myself to do things, right? And then rather than thinking ahead and thinking about everything that I have to do all at once, because right now it's thrift store, and hopefully soon it will be the gas station job, and Instacart, eBay, Poshmark, Etsy. um, I'm also doing transcriptions. I'm also doing uh, whatchamacallit, caption writing for the same company. And I also just put out a call for freelance work if anybody needs any freelance work done, because I do all kinds of stuff. I do videos, I do audio. I love working with audio. Audio is really fun for me. Um, and I write, and I've done all this stuff, and I'm a book editor, you know what I mean? Like, I have all these different skills to offer, and nothing's panning out, and nothing's panning out, and nothing's panning out. And I feel like I'm just running in circles. However, once I stopped playing into the frustration and the emotional triggers, and I really, decided, it really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, and that's not what I want to focus on anyway. That was when I really started to um, be able to see more of the opportunities again. Because, like I said, when we're in a negative state of mind, when we are in a resistant or fearful state of mind, then we push away the solutions that we need. And we push away the solutions that the universe is trying to bring us. Because guess what? What you want also wants you. And it doesn't matter what it is, because nobody wants the same exact things. You see what I mean? So what you want and you are constantly kind of in this dance working towards each other. And over time, you get closer and closer and closer. But there are always steps, there's always a process. And it is in the enjoying of the process in the moment that you can strengthen your manifestation skills, and you can get better and better and better at basically attracting the things you need in order to get to where you want to be, in order to be on your right path. And the path never ends, and ultimately you decide what path you're going to be on. So if you decide to stick with something that makes you absolutely miserable and you stay stuck in that misery, then you're going to be attracting more of that misery onto your path until you work out where it's coming from. And usually the answers are all within. The answers are all in here. Nobody can discern those answers for you except for you. And now you can talk to people and get input and stuff, and you can kind of, depending on what you share. And for me now, this all happens organically. Like, I don't focus on trying to manifest. I don't focus on trying to be in the right place at the right time. It just happens. And there were a few conversations that I had on Sunday, actually, that really cemented the idea of needing to do something that guarantees me money in exchange for my time. Because I've spent 4 months building, creating, writing, developing, putting together this course, and have gotten a grand total of 1 enrollment. And that was on Udemy. So I didn't make very much on that either, because they ran a special. So I can't rely totally on one source of income. See, like, that's what I'm getting at here. And so I put my feelers out for like 8 to 10 to 15 different things, not all of them traditional jobs, because I'm not a huge fan of traditional jobs. And if I'm going to have a traditional jobs, I don't want the commute, because if my wages get garnished, then I won't be able to even pay for gas if I have to commute. So you see the conundrum, And yeah, so I just wanted to kind of share with you guys some of the hints and signs and signals that the universe might send you and how to kind of feel your way into that. It'll be significant to you and potentially to the other people involved, but it will mostly be significant to you. And when things like that happen and you take a minute to appreciate it and you say, maybe this is a sign that I'm on the right track. Maybe this is my hint. Maybe this is where I'm supposed to be going right now. Because really, you can't make any mistakes. Even a mistake is a is like a stepping stone to your next step. A mistake or a failure is just pushing you to the next thing and helping you to have the knowledge and the information on all levels to make you like more confident in making your next decision. So I thought that was really nifty, and I wanted to just kind of take a minute and share that with you guys. I'm going to do the video about loneliness separately. And first, I actually have a meeting with someone. So we'll see how much I can get done today. But I do plan on doing a video about how to heal a lonely heart this week, as well as a new chapter of my audiobook Fibers. So, and that one's a science fiction conspiracy thriller. I wrote this several years ago already and published it, and I'm wanting to work on the sequel this year, and I want to publish it this year. So I'm giving myself the next, 4 or 5 months or so to get my finances in order, because I absolutely have to be able to survive and support my children, and B, to work on the next creative project. The music is always going on in the background, you guys. Like there's always music playing in my head, and I'm constantly listening to music. So that's going to be kind of still going on. But I like to have like one major creative project to focus on. And I learned that about myself by not having a job and spending those several months. I spent 3 months creating that class, and it was so satisfying a process. It also comes as a book. So if you guys don't want to invest in the whole entire class, you can find the book on Amazon, Defusing the Love Bomb. And there's also an accompanying journal that goes with it, called the Defusing the Love Bomb Journey Journal, because I'm a dork. And so if you guys are interested in that, then that's great. I invite you to check it out. And I kind of wanted to share with you some of the struggles, some of the things going on. Now that I'm in kind of a calm, excited place rather than a frustrated, like stressed out place. I don't like to share on video with you guys when I'm not in the right mindset. So, yeah, if you ever feel like you're not sure what to do, try just something, you know. A lot of times I will just sit and meditate and kind of think and kind of ruminate, or just kind of sit and be. And then an idea will come. Or I'll be doing something kind of random, kind of, in between work or whatever. And something will come across my news feed that's like, oh my gosh, what in the world is this? I've never seen this before. And so a lot of times that's how things find me. I don't really believe in having to effort your way through. I think that everything finds you in the exact right timing, the perfect timing. And there are lots of people who disagree with me. However, and disagree with the way I do things. But I think that in the end, in the long run, it's going to play out perfectly, and it's going to lead me to the next things that I desire, So whatever that might be for you, look for signs, I mean, if you're into that sort of thing. And they'll come to you in different ways. Sometimes it's a song, sometimes it's numbers, if you see 555 or 1111 or whatever, it can come in different forms. But just take some time to appreciate those little coincidences. I told you guys about the whole sunglasses thing, right? So check it out. Not even a week later, my friend found my actual over the glasses sunglasses that I had lost. So now I have 2 pairs again, and I didn't have to spend a dime. So Things you want you, and they will find you. And it starts with the quote unquote little stuff, you know? And I can't wait to share with you as things that I manifest get bigger and bigger, and how that looks, and kind of what that feels like. And I can tell you that if you feel desperate for something, or if you feel fearful about not having it, then chances are that you are pushing it away, and it won't be manifested as fast. And the process, the journey will be a little more frustrating. However, if you know how to align yourself with your joy and with your inner peace and with your inner unconditional love, that's your soul's energy, then things will just seem effortless. Like, between all the things I'm doing and scheduling and having to take care of, I'm not worried about it because I don't think about tomorrow until it's today. And that's the beauty of being in the moment. And then you just watch as things play out, and it's beautiful. Your whole perception kind of refines itself, toward law of attraction and manifesting and finding that inner bliss. I hope that all makes sense. And I hope that you guys do some playing around with this in your own lives. And please, 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 if you have manifestation stories, if you have little stories about things and coincidences and synchronicities that you want to share, I definitely invite you to write to me or record your own YouTube video, and maybe paste the link in the comments if you want. I will make sure that I approve them, because I know sometimes YouTube does not like links in the comments. But if you guys want to share your own manifestation stories, please, please, please do, because it is very, very encouraging for everyone. So if you have your own, I look forward to watching it and reading about it. And yeah, I hope you guys join me for the next video, and I will see you next time. Namaste, my friends. Mwah. Happy weekend and happy week and happy Tuesday, and be in bliss. I love you.